ọmọ títí dé áfíríkà museum sàmà ni ó máa lè ṣe ìpadà lórí òun yóò bá ọmọ bá dé sábọ̀ máa lè ṣe.
From the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria, check your time from the studios, 2 o'clock.
Good afternoon and welcome to the first edition of The World Today for the week. It is a Southwest Network program of Radio Nigeria, Ibadan Zonal Station, comprising news and feature. In our lineup, medical experts canvass healthy lifestyle to reduce cases of blood pressure. Bridge collapse traps commuters in Kwara State. On the foreign scene, a Russian drone targets Chinese ship. Hantavirus hits cruise ship, docks in the Netherlands. Heart of the matter is on the importance of blood pressure management, while the feature is on worms. My name is Amelia Ojimudi and I'm reading with
Dayo Adinuga. Good afternoon. You can also listen to us on live stream www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng or watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 935 Ibadan. Rain is here. Ensure you keep yourself warm, just like Emilia is doing today. I love your sweater, by the way.
Thank you.
Matching your glasses.
Thank you.
Okay, to the first story. On this year's occasion of World Hypertension Day, emphasis is on creating more awareness for a healthy living away from the deadly but silent killer disease. Correspondent Tosin Adedibigbe brings details.
Hypertension is the disease where blood pressure measurement stays abnormally high and damages arteries and organs over time. Blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against artery walls. Hypertension is equally high blood pressure. Hypertension is often called the silent killer because it usually has no symptoms but significantly increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, kidney disease, and premature death. According to reports, hypertension remains the leading preventable cause of premature death worldwide, with an estimate 1.4 billion people living with hypertension globally. Despite the availability of effective and affordable treatments, many people are unaware of their condition, and only about 1 in 4 people with hypertension have their blood pressure BP adequately controlled. Radio Nigeria finds out if people really care to know their blood pressure despite being crucial to their well-being. Some residents in Akure, the Ondo State capital, said they did not often check blood pressure, while some indicated they rather believed God for good health.
I actually check blood pressure regularly. I can say I rarely check it, but it's gonna protect me actually.
I don't check it regularly, but I check it occasionally.
With the situation of things in Nigeria now, you are talking of BP. When people are crying of hunger. So God is my BP.
When you talk of BP, we have so many things that can even give you BP right now. No power supply, economic activities at its lowest ebb.
Mr. Wole Adeyinka and Mr. Friday Akini, however, said to check their blood pressure regularly to monitor their health.
Needs to monitor user blood pressure to know when it's low and when it's high, in order to cut out stress and all that. If you feel like it's getting low, then you are getting tired, weak, need to supply.
For me, I don't joke with my health. I go to hospital to check my health situation. I do exercises.
Our medical practitioner, Dr. Ajibola Okunfolami, explained that causes of hypertension could be hereditary, living an unhealthy lifestyle, especially what people consume.
It just happens. It's common in our environment due to the kind of diet, high salt diet, because African people are salt retainers, so we tend to retain salt a lot, and anywhere salt is, water follows, and so the pressure in the vessels increase due to the accumulation of water. And other familiar diseases that occur in families too could cause it. Familiar disease to the kidneys, autoimmune diseases, they could also cause it, but the primary hypertension really has no cause.
On treatment, Dr. Okunfolami noted that hypertension was not just for old people, as young ones also do have BP, but the ailments could be treated by adjusting lifestyles, low consumption of salt, weight loss, and most important, awareness program and medical outreach by government.
The government can have a medical outreach where people come freely to check their blood pressures, where there are free medications that can be given to people, because even when they know they don't really have the money to buy those medications, so there are free medications that can be given, health talk, so that they understand that it is not the end of the world. You help them to get through. Primary health centers, they should equip them with medications and machines to check blood pressure, because they are the ones in the level of the community.
World Hypertension Day is observed every year on 17th May to raise global awareness about high blood pressure, promote prevention, early detection, control, and encourage action at individual, community, and health system levels. For Radio Nigeria in Akure, I am Tosi Aderibigbe.
Still on hypertension, high blood pressure has remained one of the silent health threats affecting millions of people globally, with many unaware of the dangers until complications arise. As the world marks this year's World Hypertension Day, Mushope Kendi examines renewed calls by medical experts for regular blood pressure checks, healthy living, and early detection to reduce deaths linked to the condition. His report.
According to the World Health Organization, hypertension remains the leading preventable cause of premature death worldwide, with about 1.4 billion people living with the condition globally. Despite these statistics and continuous reported cases of deaths as a result of high blood pressure, many people are still unaware or do not place priority on their BP status. A cross-section of residents in Ibadan spoke on how frequent they visit medical facilities for their blood pressure check.
The last time I checked my blood pressure was when I had typhoid. That was last 3 years.
I do check my BP occasionally. It's because it's only when I'm in the hospital premises that I will check my BP.
I check twice in a year. I know I feel good at all times.
I don't voluntarily say, okay, I want to check it, because I don't always go for checkup.
No doubt, these responses raise more concerns and have become a major factor for the growing number of cases of hypertension-related complications among Nigerians. A resident in Ibadan who has been managing high blood pressure over a period of time but do not want his name mentioned shared some of the plight of hypertension patients as he called for stakeholders' intervention.
You have to buy drugs and all that, having to maintain that steady blood pressure level, and you can't really involve yourself in certain activities you may want to. If you have a system in place where you can cater for people with high blood pressure, where by easing things, especially on the aspect of the drugs, that helps to manage the blood pressure.
A consultant physician at the University College Hospital UCH Ibadan, Professor Samuel Ajayi, who decried people's nonchalant attitude to early detection of the disease, said hypertension is called a silent killer because of its capacity to damage its target body organs slowly without any symptoms.
A large number of our patients with heart failure have the origin of their disease from hypertension. Hypertension is the commonest cause of stroke. It's also about the commonest cause of kidney disease. Also, it affects the eyes. These are the organs that we call target organ.
Professor Ajayi, who cleared the air on insinuations that social tensions was a major trigger to hypertension or that headache was a common symptom to look out for in hypertension, said the best way to defeat the silent killer was to be on the lookout for the menace at all times.
If you don't look for it, you may not know it is there. Some people will only take their medications when they have headaches or they feel some inconvenience. They say, oh, I'm under tension. Okay, maybe my blood pressure is high. They may not visit the hospital for follow-up.
Speaking on the theme of the 2026 World Hypertension Day, controlling hypertension together, check your blood pressure regularly, defeats the silent killer. Professor Ajayi re-emphasized the need for early diagnosis, regular checkup, and medication.
A regular checkup, even when you are not feeling sick, that is responsibility that individuals have. And the only way by which you can diagnose hypertension is to use blood pressure measurement equipment. It cannot be diagnosed by feeling. It cannot be diagnosed by looks. You have to measure it. If you diagnose on time, you prevent a lot of harm.
The consultant physician, however, called on family members, stakeholders, policymakers, and the society at large to care for hypertension patients by supporting sustained actions that create lasting change for everyone affected by the condition. From Ibadan, I am Moshokwe Kendi for Radio Nigeria.
In today's Heart of the Matter, Anthony Akonji of our planning unit writes on the importance of blood pressure measurement as Hypertension Day is observed.
Hypertension is a condition in which the force of the blood against the walls of the arteries is too high. High blood pressure, BP levels above 140/90 can be regarded as hypertension, while it is severe when it rises to 180/120. BP is measured as two numbers, systolic and diastolic. Systolic blood pressure is the first and higher number which measures pressure in the arteries when the heart beats. Diastolic blood pressure is the lower number which measures the pressure inside the artery when the heart rests between beats. When high blood pressure is left untreated for a long time, it could lead to stroke, heart attack, heart failure, and kidney diseases. Different themes as related to the disease is chosen yearly to educate patients, caregivers, health providers, and the general populace. The theme for this year's World Hypertension Day is Controlling Hypertension Together. Check your blood pressure regularly. Defeat the silent killer. This initiative focuses on raising awareness about high blood pressure, promoting accurate measurement, and urging communal action to prevent premature deaths from cardiovascular diseases. Globally, it is estimated that 26% of the world's population have hypertension, and the prevalence is estimated to increase to 29% by the year 2027. In Nigeria, 1.5 million cases are diagnosed yearly. Although experts say it has no symptoms, but persistent early morning headaches, nosebleeds, irregular heart rhythm, vision changes, and buzzing in the ears must be checked out. It will not be out of place also to take note of fatigue, nausea, vomiting, anxiety, chest pain, and muscle tremors. Since hypertension has been identified as the most common non-communicable disease affecting more than half of the adult population, action must be taken. Furthermore, with the present socio-economic problems, work pressure, and lifestyle changes, the younger generation is beginning to develop hypertension. At this juncture, it is worth mentioning that treatment of hypertension can only be done by professionals. Hence, people should be wary of self-medication. Regular exercise and intake of healthy foods will go a long way in keeping diseases at bay. The best foods for hypertensive patients, according to dietitian, include skim yogurt, skinless turkey and chicken, low-salt cereal, vegetables, plain rice, pasta. The top fruits for lowering blood pressure include banana, apples, pear, apricots, grapes, raisins, kiwis, mangoes, and watermelon. Others include pomegranate, plums, prunes, avocado, tomatoes, citrus fruits, and berries. It is also necessary that patients abide by their drug regimen, as normal BP does not mean that the disease is gone completely. For accurate measurements, sitting correctly is important, while taking to instructions by health professionals will ensure that it is achieved. Having a digital BP measuring device is recommended for people with other diseases like diabetes for proper management. Most importantly, knowing the figures prevents complications and unnecessary deaths. And the time to act is now.
That's clipped on the importance of blood pressure measurement as Hypertension Day is observed was written by Antonia Akonji of our planning unit and read by Fiyishara Owomoyula.
Still on health, Chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, NANNM, University College Hospital UCH Ibadan, Mrs. Olufumilola Faminu, has advised patients and their relatives to express their grievances through the established channels for complaints rather than assaulting healthcare workers on duty. Mrs. Faminu gave the advice while speaking to Radio Nigeria following the death of a patient that occurred at the hospital's accident and emergency unit, leading to a relative of the deceased physically assaulting two doctors and a nurse. Mrs. Family noted that assaults of health workers in the country had become a recurring scenario, warning that repetition of such on healthcare workers could cripple service delivery in hospitals.
At all our major entry points in the hospital, the children emergency, adult emergency department, and all the clinics, we have service officers, we have total quality managers who are there to forestall any occurrence like that.
Similarly, President of the Association of Resident Doctors ARD UCH, Dr. Uthman Aditiji, who condemned the attack, stressed that dissatisfaction with hospital services should never result in violence. Healthcare services at the University College Hospital Ibadan were partially disrupted as doctors and nurses embarked on a 3-day strike last week Friday over rising cases of assault on healthcare workers within the hospital. Our correspondent reports that the strike will be called off tomorrow.
This is World Today, the stories that made the headlines. Medical experts have canvassed a healthy lifestyle to reduce cases of blood pressure. Still to come, bridge collapse traps commuters in Kwara State. Russian drone targets Chinese ship. Antivirus hits cruise ship docks in Netherlands. Stay with us, don't go away.
But glad to know you're still there. And now to politics. Ahead of the 2027 general election, members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Wards 1 in Laru, Isale Oshun, Ward 3 in Akogun, and Ward 13 in Akepe in Oshobo and Oloruda local government areas today trooped out to choose the next representative for Oshun Central Senatorial seat. Radio Nigeria correspondent reports that party members came out as early as 9 o'clock this morning to vote under the supervision of the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC officials and security personnel. According to an APC official, some of the contestants are Senator Olubi Fadi, Mr. Kunle Adegoke, son, Mr. Akintunde Adegbuyi, former Deputy Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly. In separate interviews with Radio Nigeria, one of the party leaders in Oshobo local government area, Mr. Muhammad Olaya, and Secretary APC Ward 13, Mr. Rashid Salam, called on supporters of the contestants to cooperate with whoever emerged as the winner. They stressed the need for party faithful to see themselves as one stressing the decision of the leaders as sacrosanct. Meanwhile, Mr. Femi Oyetola, who is one of the Osun Central senatorial seat contestants, has announced his withdrawal from the race in a letter addressed to the state chairman of the APC. He noted that it is imperative to place collective interest of the party above personal ambition.
Media professionals have been encouraged to adopt the use of modern technology, particularly artificial intelligence, to promote truth, human dignity, and national development. The Catholic Bishop of Abeokuta Diocese, the Most Reverend Peter Odetoyibo, made the call during a panel discussion to commemorate the 2026 World Communication Day held at SS Peter and Paul Cathedral, ATS in Abeokuta. The Most Reverend Odetoyibo expressed concern over the misuse of artificial intelligence, particularly in the preservation of and manipulation of human voices and faces, and advised media practitioners to deploy emerging technologies positively for the promotion of family values and societal growth, rather than spreading falsehood and deception. The religious leader encouraged journalists to remain at the forefront of defending truth and improving human life, while advising the relevant authorities in Nigeria to fashion out the machinery for ensuring checks and balances and the use of technology with a view to protecting the citizens. Discussants at the event also stressed the need for media professionals to be proactive rather than relying solely on technology in carrying out their professional duties. The chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Ogun State Council, Mr. Akinwale Olanrewaju, opined that technology should be properly managed as a tool for societal development.
Federal highway pliers in Kwara State have been left stranded after heavy flooding overtook the collapsed Moro Bridge, submerging vehicles and disrupting movement across the busy interstate route. It was gathered that the incident followed an overnight downpour that caused the Moro River to overflow its banks, leaving several vehicles trapped in floodwaters, while desperate passengers reportedly climbed onto car roofs awaiting rescue. The affected bridge, located between Oko-Olowo Mandala in Ilorin West and Asha local government areas, had earlier collapsed on the 30th of April after a heavy-duty articulated truck reportedly passed over the aging structure. The collapse had already cut off a major transport link connecting Kwara State to neighboring Oyo State and onward routes towards Benin Republic.
Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, says his government is doing everything possible to rescue the 7 teachers and yet to be ascertained number of pupils kidnapped in Ahoro, a Siele community of Oruro local government area of the state. The governor stated these after holding a security review of the situation with his security advisors and service commanders. Speaking with newsmen shortly after the meeting, Governor Makinde expressed his sympathy to the families of victims, noting that from reports, 7 teachers were abducted, while the number of abducted pupils is yet to be ascertained. He announced the killing of one of the teachers and condoled with the family of the victim, while he equally sympathized with the families of some members of the tactical team of soldiers, Amotekun Corps and local vigilantes who ran into improvised explosive device IEDs planted by the abductors during an effort to rescue the abducted teachers and students. Governor Makinde said that the wounded security personnel were responding positively to treatment and that the government would spare no cost in taking care of them. She noted, however, that the government has achieved a level of success with the operation, with some individuals already arrested in connection with the situation. Responding on how Oyo State is engaging with a neighboring state to curb the influx of terrorists into the state, the governor explained that the fact that there is pressure on terrorists and bandits in the northwest and northeast meant the that this would move southwest. The governor also assured the citizens that they would be kept abreast of the progress being made with the rescue operation through a daily briefing.
Still on security, the Nigeria Police Force, or your State Command, has commenced a comprehensive examination of the video circulating on social media in connection with the recent kidnapping incident in Uriri local government area of the state. The command's public relations officer, Mr. Olayinka Ayonlade, made this known in a statement noting that the footage is currently undergoing detailed forensic analysis to determine its authenticity and to support ongoing investigations. According to the PPRO, the process is expected to aid rescue operations and assist security agencies in identifying and arresting those responsible for the heinous act. He reassured residents of the command's unwavering commitment to ensuring the safe return and reunification of all abducted persons with their families, noting that intense operational, intelligence-driven and tactical efforts are ongoing in collaboration with other security agencies to secure the victims are unharmed and the perpetrators are brought to justice.
Russian drones and out foreign-related stories. Russian drones have hit two ships in the Black Sea approaching port in Ukraine Odessa region, including a Chinese-owned cargo vessel. A day before, Russian President Vladimir Putin heads to Beijing to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. Ukraine's seaport authority said the strikes hit two civilian vessels, one under a Marshall Island flag and other under Guinea-Bissau's flag, both of which were heading to port in the region. The Ukrainian Navy reported a strike on the KSL Deyang, a Chinese-owned cargo ship with a Chinese crew under the Marshall Island flag. Russia has regularly attacked civilian vessels in the port area of Odessa, a vital maritime hub for Ukrainian agricultural export since it invaded Ukraine 4 years ago. Monday's attack comes just before Putin's two-day trip to Beijing, where he is to have talks with Chinese president.
And still on the foreign scene, a cruise ship hit by a deadly hantavirus outbreak has docked in the Netherlands for disinfection. Report says the MV Hondius was carrying 25 crew members and 2 medical personnel as it reached the Dutch port of Rotterdam after all the passengers disembarked at other locations. According to the ship's operator, no one on board is experiencing any symptoms. According to a report, a short distance from where the ship docked, authorities had set up quiet containers along the water. The crew will enter immediate quarantine, with those who cannot be immediately repatriated spending their time in quarantine in the containers. 3 passengers on the ship died, including a Dutch couple whose health officials believe were the first exposed to the virus while visiting South America. The MV Hondius has spent the past 6 days sailing from the Canary Islands, where the remaining passengers were evacuated and boarded flights to more than 20 countries to enter quarantine.
The Saudi Arabia Supreme Court has announced that standing at the mountain Arafat, which marks the climax of the annual Hajj pilgrimage, will take place next week Tuesday, May 26. It also said that Eid Adha celebrations would hold the following day, Wednesday, May 27. This is as the nation officially declares Monday, May 18 as the first day of Dhul Hijjah 1447 AH, following the sighting of the crescent moon. And according to a statement by the court, the crescent sighting department of the Supreme Court reached the decision after reviewing testimony submitted by witnesses regarding the sighting of the Dhul Hijjah crescent.
Let's now bring you the feature. There is an animal that moves perfectly without eyes. For details on this blind animal, let's join Olushi Olarindi.
Worms are soft-bodied, elongated invertebrate without legs, without skeletons or antennae. They use longitudinal and circular muscles to move, though they lack legs, but they may have tiny ears to help grip soil. Worms breathe through their skin, necessitating a damp habitat. They usually lack eyes but have specialized cells to sense light, vibration, and chemicals. Many worms exist as parasites on other organisms, including humans. Certain types of worms, such as planarians, possess remarkable regenerative abilities, allowing them to regrow segments or even entire bodies.
That script on worms was written by Rashida Makinde.
To end the news on the world today from the Stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are today's top stories. Medical experts have canvassed healthy lifestyle to reduce cases of blood pressure. Federal highway pliers in Kwara State have been stranded after heavy flooding overtook the collapsed Moro Bridge, submerging vehicles and disrupting movement across the busy interstate route. Russian drones have hit 2 ships in the Black Sea approaching ports in Ukraine's Odessa region, including a Chinese-owned cargo vessel a day before Russian President Vladimir Putin heads to Beijing to meet China President Xi Jinping. Lastly, we brought you the report that says a cruise ship hit by a deadly hantavirus outbreak has docked in the Netherlands for disinfection.
Well, that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. It was edited by Mudupe Toba. I am Emilia Ojimudia, thanking you for your time. I'm from my colleague
Dayo Deniga. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back to the network service of Radio Nigeria. It's not time